A returning WWE name has been spotted at the Performance Center. Plus, Drew McIntyre is making a WWE appearance this month. And we have an update on an injured SmackDown star. It's all in the wrestling news right now. Lots of good things were said about Alison Danger when she was involved in WWE and working at the Performance Center. The story that came out around 2022 was that she moved her entire family to take on this role, this well-received role as a coach, and then just a few short weeks later, she was released as they made massive cuts across the company. And there was a massive frustration there with Alison Danger. It's like, well, I've moved my entire family to come and do this job, and now you're telling me I don't have the job anymore. Anyway, it seems as if a great wrong in the world is being righted.
Hopefully so, because PW Insider are reporting that Alison Danger, also known as Kathy Carino, was spotted at the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. The belief among those that PW Insider have spoken to is that she's working there as a guest coach currently, but surely that can also be interpreted as like a foot in the door. Hopefully it means that she might get more regular bookings as a coach there, because she seems to be a very respected name in the industry amongst wrestlers who want to be coached by her. And as you mentioned, it was a tremendous shame when the stories came out a year or two ago that she'd moved her whole family and then been let go weeks, I think, into her tenure with WWE. So,
well, Alison Danger's role within sort of wrestling history is assured. She was a significant figure as part of Shimmer, which I genuinely believe, and many genuinely believe, was the impetus and the inspiration for the WWE Women's Revolution. You know, the stuff that they did with Shimmer was kind of what led you to there. And a lot of roster members, a lot of WWE locker room members who had come through the Shimmer system and come through that sort of section of the indies were buzzing when Alison Danger joined.
Yes.
And then for it to not go the way that it did, it was disheartening. So the fact that she's back in the system is really good.
And Shimmer's also directly contributed to the women's roster as well in WWE in terms of like Shayna Baszler, and at one time as well Mercedes Martinez, who I believe is wrestling at North
Wrestling Thunderstruck at the Walker Dome, North Wrestling's biggest show ever. northwrestling.co.uk to get tickets to be part of the biggest North Wrestling show ever. She'll be there along with Gangrel, Joey Janela, and Scotty 2 Hotty. It's gonna be it's gonna be a good time. But then there's a lot of names like Mercedes Martinez who'll be part of North Wrestling Thunderstruck July 15th, who will also thank Shimmer and such for the process. Yes. So she's back there. I think that's really good. There's also some really good news for Drew McIntyre fans this morning. I've missed Drew. Now, I think this is a sign that we're close to having some semblance of closure in the situation with Drew McIntyre.
Right. In a press release, WWE announced that WWE Superstar and Special Olympics Global Ambassador Drew McIntyre will attend the Special Olympics World Games 2023, the world's largest inclusive sports event featuring thousands of athletes with intellectual disabilities, taking place in Berlin this month. It goes on to talk about Drew's role. The role of Special Olympics Global Ambassador... Drew goes on to talk about his role, saying, "The role of Special Olympics Global Ambassador is one I hold with immense pride. The athletes never fail to inspire and amaze everyone at WWE with their drive and positivity. Being in Berlin for the Special Olympics World Games in person, alongside the thousands of athletes demonstrating their skills on a global stage, will be an experience to remember." Which is fantastic, first of all, but also, are you going to suggest, would he be in such a prominent role here if he didn't still have good ties with WWE?
It's one of them where I think it's obviously, when it's something as important as being the global ambassador for the Special Olympics, I think there's certainly a pride that comes from wanting to take that role on. But I would like to think that this would be a sign that something's happening with regarding his position in WWE.
Because would they?
I would genuinely think that if Drew McIntyre was on his way out from WWE, they would probably negotiate to have someone else from WWE.
Right.
Maybe someone like a Titus O'Neil or such to be a part of that position.
Although, could it be a position that he's already previously, that he takes great pride in? Could he have maybe insisted, no, I still want to do this.
I still want to do this while I'm here. Very likely.
It's
very
unclear,
likely.
isn't it?
There were some conversations this week that Drew's name has come up once again backstage with some hopes that they could write him in creatively on the road to Money in the Bank in London. So there is still possibly an opportunity for him to do that. The big sticking point at the moment, from what we hear from other sources, is that Drew McIntyre, whose contract ends early next year, wants to come back and do something meaningful. He doesn't just want to poodle around the main roster and do nothing of any major significance. You know, he wants to be in the mix with something big, even if it's not a title feud per se, just a big meaningful storyline.
Well, I hope he gets it, because you know, if creative has nothing for Drew McIntyre, then that's just silly in my opinion. But he's not been the luckiest WWE superstar in recent years, has he? His big title win came under lockdown when nobody was there, and then kind of things sort of fizzled out a bit. He obviously had the loss to Roman at Clash at the Castle when everyone was desperate for him to win, and I just feel like if anyone has a right to feel slightly aggrieved, maybe it is Drew McIntyre, especially because all these reports were coming out this year of him working through illness, working when he's been banged up or injured, and he seems to really have put the company on his back at certain stages, but have they had his back in return?
Possible. Well, that's a very good question. In my head, I started singing that Creed song. Who's got my back now? When all we have left is
I'm sure I only know My Sacrifice, and maybe one other song.
That's deep into the Weathered album, I believe.
I've never listened to a Creed album. Oh my word!
Have you not?
No,
you have not lived.
I was about to sneeze when I was talking about the Drew point, and after the first video when I sneezed, I got a bit embarrassed by that.
That's shy boy. Here's a thought. Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul at Money in the Bank.
Oh, I would like that. Yeah,
Logan Paul's going to be on Raw next week.
I think Logan will be in the ladder match.
Yeah.
But if he weren't to do that, I would accept that as an alternative.
That is a nice alternative. Talking about returns, I'm buzzing for this. A former WWE star getting back into the wrestling mix. Alicia Fox has signed to do Reality of Wrestling's Summer of Champions on Saturday, July the 15th. We haven't seen Alicia Fox in a wrestling capacity since Rumble 2022.
Yeah, Booker T talked about Alicia Fox's return on his podcast, saying, I talked to Alicia yesterday. She wants to come down and continue the saga, and she just wanted to knock some of the ring rust off at Reality of Wrestling and get a little bit of insight and some knowledge as far as what this journey may be that she's getting ready to partake in. So this very much sounds like a new beginning for Alicia Fox, not just a one-off.
It does. And there's such a groundswell of love for Alicia Fox. Whenever you search her online, there's always people that will share memories and videos and such from Alicia. And I think that she was one of those that really doesn't get the due that she's due.
Yes, I would agree.
In wrestling, so I like to think that, and she's had a lot of personal demons that she's fought, and she's been very open about those as well. So I'm excited to see her get a chance to day zero and make more waves again.
Yes,
I'm all for that.
Me too.
All for that. We have an update to end on for a SmackDown star. We haven't seen much of Kofi Kingston for a long while, but he has given us an update whilst he was a guest on the Battleground podcast.
Yes, he was talking about his injury status, saying, I'm actually in Orlando right now doing some rehab on my ankle. I had ankle surgery to remove a bone chip and fix a ligament after the massive Scottish behemoth of a man, Drew McIntyre, landed on my leg, and my body went east and my leg went west, and my ankle was completely sprained. Now I'm on the mend. You know, somewhere in between a robot and a zombie, so somewhere in between... What's this quote? So I'm working my way back to the fold, so it's all good. I actually had this same surgery on the same ankle about 6 years ago to have bone chips removed, so I feel like this time around I kind of know what to expect. And I've been kind of ahead of schedule for the most part, and I'm ready and able to do a lot of things like normal people things and live a normal life. So I've just been in Orlando for the past week, seeing where I'm at, and things are looking pretty good. So hopefully sooner rather than later, you'll see me in the ring.
Do you think that if we ever see the New Day back together as a trio, like the world will collapse in on itself?
I would love
feel
it
like
to see
just as one's getting ready to come back, another one goes down.
I know. But if/when they are ready again at the same time, I'm sure that'll be a huge moment when the New Day are all
Oh my gosh, it'd be amazing. You could build a whole week of programming around that.
You could
if not a pay-per-view around the return of the New Day. WWE Trios titles, just in time for the New Day to return. Do it, you cowards. It's a massive month ahead because we've got Money in the Bank at the O2 in London. The night before, SmackDown is from the O2 in London as well. But on the same night as the SmackDown show at the O2, the Raw roster are over there in the northeast. They're at the Utilita Arena in Newcastle. We've got a pair of tickets. If you want to go and see the WWE stars at the Utilita Arena in Newcastle, all you have to do is head onto our Facebook page or our Twitter and tell us who your WWE champion is. Who's that one person that has gone above and beyond for you? Maybe somebody that you think deserves an amazing night out with the wrestling, who's gone through all sorts of stuff at the moment. Someone that's always had your back. Let us know who they are on the Facebook or our Twitter page, and we could be sending you two to go and watch some wrestling on us at the end of the month.
Just to re-emphasize what Tom said there, this is the one in Newcastle.
In the Newcastle one, yes.
The
I have
Raw
to
house
emphasize.
show.
So the Raw house show in Newcastle. If you're in this area where you can't get into London, the Raw house show in Newcastle, we've got a pair of tickets for that one.
Yes.
Come join us there, why don't you?
Absolutely.
You twitching tonight?
Oh, yes, I am.
He is!
Come on.
He was ready for it today.
Me and Owen are Twitch streaming at 6 p.m. UK time. We are continuing our journey with Cultaholic FC. We signed some new players last week. This week, we're going to continue to sign players and might also start the next season as well. It depends how far we get. We're looking for a goalkeeper and a striker as well. Striker!
Apply within
Go!
twitch.tv/Cultaholic. Nothing but net.
Back of the net.
We'll have more wrestling.
Nothing but nets. Bloody basketball, Tom.
Oh, what a silly Billy. Really tired today. We'll have more wrestling news throughout the egg at cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.